People as a resource. Good morning, respected ma'am, and all my fellow classmates. Today, we, the students of Class 9H, are going to present a small presentation on the topic People as a Resource. In the following presentation, we will be summarizing the chapter, making it a bit easier to understand. In this presentation, we will be covering the following topics. First, the overview, which will give you a short introduction to the chapter. Second, economic and non-economic activities. Third, quality of population, that is education and health. And the fourth, unemployment. Introduction. People as a resource is a way of referring to a country's working population in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. The population, from this productive aspect, emphasizes its ability to contribute to the creation of the gross national product. Like other resources, population is a resource, a human resource. This is basically the positive side of a large population that is often overlooked when we only try to reflect the negative side, considering only the problems of providing the population with food, education, and access to health facilities.
Economic activities. Economic activities refer to those activities of human which are undertaken for a monetary gain or to satisfy his or her wants. The activities of workers, farmers, shopkeepers, manufacturers, doctors, lawyers, taxi drivers, etc. fall under this category. As you can see in this picture, a chef cooking in a restaurant is an example of an economic activity. Non-economic activities. Non-economic activities are ones that are not undertaken for any monetary gain. These are also called unpaid activities. Example, puja part, housekeeping, helping the poor or disabled, etc. As you can see in this picture, mother cooking for family members is an example of non-economic activities.
Economic activities by men and women. Economic activities can be categorized into three types: primary activities, secondary activities, and the tertiary activities. Example of primary activity can be agriculture, secondary activity is manufacturing, and tertiary activities is transporting or providing services. Primary activities. Economic activities which are related to agriculture, poultry farming, fishing, horticulture, animal husbandry, mining, quarrying, etc. are called primary activities. Natural resources are just extracted in primary activities.
Secondary activities. Manufacturing is called secondary activity. Natural resources are properly modified in secondary activity. Tertiary activities. Economic activities which support the primary and secondary activities are called tertiary activities. Banking, transport, finance, and different types of services come under tertiary activities.
Market activities. Some products or services is provided to be sold in the market. It is called the market activity. Coming to non-market activities, When some products or services is produced for self-consumption, it is called non-market activities. If a farmer produces just enough to meet his family needs, his activity is called a non-market activity. Similarly, the work of a housewife is a non market activity because she is working for the benefits of her family members.
Quality of population. The quality of population depends upon the literacy rate, health of a person, indicated by life expectancy, and skill formation acquired by the people of the country. The quality of the population ultimately decides the growth rate of the country. Illiterate and unhealthy person is a liability to the country, whereas the literate and healthy population is an asset. There are two things that determine the quality of a population: education, and second is the health. Health. Health helps a person to realize his or her potential to fight against diseases and illness. Health is an indispensable basis for realizing and well-being. An unhealthy person becomes a liability to the nation. Improvement in health status of the population has been the priority of the India. Our national policy aims at improving the accessibility of healthcare, family welfare, and nutritional service with a special focus on the underprivileged segment of the society's population.
Over the last few decades, India has built up a vast health infrastructure and has developed manpower required at primary, secondary, and tertiary sector in government as well as the private sector. Education. Education and skills are the major determinants of one's earning. Educated people earn more than uneducated people, which is much more like a universal truth. A literate population is an asset to the society. It leads to higher productivity of the nation when seen everything around you is made by the present technology, which is upgraded through education. Not only that, it opens new avenues for a person to start.
And as you already know, land and other resources are fixed, limited, and specified, whereas human capital can be nurtured through education and health. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is a significant step towards providing elementary education to all children in age group of 6 to 14 years. Midday meal scheme has been implemented to encourage attendance and retention of children and improve their nutritional status. Similarly, the government has been continuously trying to provide education to all those who can't afford education. Unemployment. The term unemployment means a situation where a section of the society who are capable and are willing to work don't find any gainful job to be done. There are mainly three types of unemployment. The first is disguised unemployment, second is seasonal unemployment, and the third is educated unemployment.
Disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is when people do appear to be employed but are unemployed in reality. Take, for example, if in a farm there are 10 people working, but only 4 are supposed to do the work, or only 4 people are needed to do the job, then the other 6 people are surplus. Though they are working there, the job doesn't require 10 people, and the productivity of the farm does not increase with the increase of the people working in it, since its productivity is limited. Thus, if we remove these 6 people from the farm, we will find no change in the production of the farm. Hence, in such a case, the remaining 6 people work needlessly, appear to be employed but are unemployed in reality, that is, disguisedly unemployed. Seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment takes place when during a specific period of the year people do not find any work to be done. This generally happens with people or farmers who are dependent on agriculture. There are certain busy seasons when sowing, harvesting, weeding, and threshing are done. But when the plants are growing, there is not much work to be done. During this period of time, the farmers remain unemployed during the season, hence, they are called to be seasonally unemployed. Start.
Educated unemployment. Educated unemployment is when an educated person is unemployed due to less job opportunities. This has become a peculiar situation in India and has become a common phenomenon since many youth with matriculation, graduation, and post graduation degrees are not able to find any jobs. A paradoxical manpower situation is witnessed as surplus of manpower in certain categories coexist with shortage of manpower in others. In short, there is unemployment among technically qualified people on one hand, while there is a dearth of technical skills required for economic growth. How can we maximize the employment opportunities? There is no further scope in the primary sector as there is already disguised unemployment and it is the most labor absorbing sector. In the secondary sector, the small scale manufacturing is the most labor absorbing. In case of the tertiary sector, various new services like biotechnology, information, scope technology are coming up. Hence, there is a maximum employment opportunities. Thank
Thank
you.
you.